Have we been mute?
I think we were.
Okay. Do we have to?
No, okay. Sorry, you guys online. We just realized we were muted. We went through HFD reports. Captain Nolan Nick reported the crime statistics or the fire statistics. There are 2 activated alarms, 80 medical calls, 1 motor vehicle collision with the pedestrian, 1 mountain rescue, and he provided back to school fire safety tips. There is one question from resident. Sorry, Resident Dana Yap, and he asked about the fires on the arson on Rose and Camfort Road, and Captain Nip said that he would follow up on that. Were there any other questions online for HFD? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to HPD.
HPD.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Lieutenant Creighton Hatiko, again with the Kalihi Police Station. I'm one of the nighttime commanders. I'm going to provide you some statistics first for the month of July. There were 2 assaults, 2 auto thefts, 1 burglary, 1 robbery, 1 sex assault, no simple assaults reported, 9 various thefts, and 4 thefts from vehicles. Total calls for service for the month of July were 653, which is up from 520 calls for service in June. Tip of the month is regarding pedestrians walking in the street. If you're gonna exercise on the roadways in your neighborhood, I suggest you wear light colored clothing, or if you can, some reflective clothing, like a safety vest or a safety belt. Walk facing traffic if possible, so that you can see the flow of traffic. Always check the road before crossing, even if you believe you have the right of way. And to also, when vehicles stop for you in the roadway, be aware of overtaking vehicles. Sometimes, a lot of times, people are in a rush and they're not paying attention, and they see a vehicle stopped in front of them and don't realize that they're stopped for a pedestrian, and they just fly around the side of them. So even if a car is stopped for you in the roadway, before you cross into the open space of the street, make sure you look beyond the car to make sure there's nothing coming. Are there any questions or concerns?
Thank you. Any questions or concerns from the board? Hernando Tan, is this unmute?
It's live.
Hello, Lieutenant. I'm not sure if you could hear me well, but I wanted to refer you, if you're aware, there was a news report last Monday, and it's about the Major Cities Chiefs Association Violent Crime Survey. And somehow Honolulu was part of that list. And where I'm concerned about, and if you know, on the homicide statistics, in 2023, there were 15 in Honolulu, and we're just halfway of 2024. We already surpassed that. Now it's 16, according to the statistics. On the rate, 2023, we have 136, and 2024 already surpassed that. We already have 164. The question is, are you aware of this survey statistics?
Of course, we're aware of that, sir. Those are taken a lot of times. You heard the report when it was made. They said that a lot of times it's some of the things that they were reported didn't occur during the year. It's when they're reported. That's when it's it's counted as a stat. We're very aware of it. I truthfully, I don't know what to say to you, what kind of explanation you're looking for regarding where, of course, we're doing our jobs and we're doing the best we can. We do take that information into consideration. And to answer your question, the reason why they include us in that is because we're a large enough city and we have enough statistics for them to keep track of.
If you don't mind, I have a follow-up question. If you know,
Sure.
Where would those incidents recorded in part of Honolulu. I can see, luckily, I think we don't have in District 29, but we should be all aware about this. Is that the next district? Is that somewhere right in the heart of Honolulu? Do you have this information with you, or some kind
I don't
of?
have it offhand, but I can look it up for you.
Would you don't mind share that with us probably next meeting?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
No, not a problem, Mr. Tan.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Mr. Sung?
Hi, my name is Shane Sung. Not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you, Mr. Song. Yes.
Okay. Just any update about the shooting up on Tampa Road with in the bus?
As it stands right now, they have video and stuff, but because the suspect was covered up completely head to toe, he had his face covered, it's taking us a while to get some kind of positive ID. The groups involved, we have a lot of information about the various groups involved, but the sensitivity of investigation like this is we have to have unbiased people to be able to identify the suspect in the case so that it sticks in court. Yeah, it cannot just be officers. Oh, I know who that. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. We can't operate in that way. But we do have a lot of information that we are following up on.
Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem,
Any
sir.
more questions?
Lee.
Oh, yes. Mr. Kumalai has a question.
Hi, Lieutenant.
Hi, sir.
Alan. My concern was recently we had a lot of incidences with mopeds being used in a commission of crimes. You know, just this week, right? They shot at the bus and they saw a moped escaping. But
Yes.
I know there's other incidents with, you know, while kids and adults they're using mopeds to commit crimes. But does the police department have any suggestion for the public or any ideas on how we can reduce the crimes involving mopeds? I know they get rules. I think some of these kids are younger than they're supposed to be operating mopeds.
If we see a person who's obviously underage operating a moped, we have the authority to stop and check because you need to have a Type 2 license to be able to operate a moped on city streets. And they also passed the bill where mopeds do have to have a type of license plate on the back. So in those situations when we can, our officers are very good about, we kind of, because we know that it seems like it's the vehicle of choice for some of the criminals. We kind of hammering mopeds. We've been hammering mopeds because we know. So when we can't take action, we do. So we have been. What I would suggest for a lot of you guys, if you own a moped, try to make it. Try to have a good set of locks on it. And if you can avoid parking it near the street where it's visible, that's the best bet. And then in that way, from that sense, we can also try to keep the mopeds out of the hands of the people that shouldn't be having them.
All right, thank you.
No problem, sir.
Chester.
Chester Koga online has a question.
Sort of related to the moped question is these people on e-bicycles,
Right.
and some of them can go really fast.
Yes, sir.
And you know, last couple of days I've observed coming home in the afternoon, got these I don't know, 4 or 5 youth. They're sort of like racing, and you know, definitely going over the speed limit. But the thing, unlike mopeds, you know, some of these e-bicycles, they don't have license plates or other
Yeah.
kind of identifying marks.
That's
So,
correct, sir.
how do we kind of let you all know that this is going on?
So recently, the legislature just passed some legislation related to that. So there are new rules regarding the e-bikes. We're just starting to roll out the information to our officers now. And I'm still myself getting familiar with it. I'll get those all compiled for you guys, and I'll have them ready for you at the next meeting. I'll make sure so you guys know what is the new rules regarding those the e-bikes. And I know it involves you have to be a certain age to operate a e-bike on the roadway, and there's also some other rules where they're now considered vehicles. So the vehicle law applies to electronic bikes. But I'll get some specifics for you guys at the next meeting.
Thank you very much. Just question on the rules of the road. Does the e-bicycles and regular bicycles, the rules of the roads the same?
It should be. It should be. But
Should
so in terms of the rules for bikes, it should apply to e-bikes. But with these new rules that they rolled out, now if it's an e-bike over a certain amount of power, vehicle rules also apply.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the community online or in person for HPD? Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Up next is Board of Water Supply, Iris Oda.
Hello.
Hi, she's in person.
I'm here today.
Hello.
I missed my Monday meeting with another board because I was coughing, so I'm better today. So I'm passing out a handout. It's a general water announcement. So we're participating in a water. There's a camera for this. We're participating in a water access and affordability survey. It's taking place in communities across the country. So we're encouraging the public to fill out the questionnaire. It's open to and being filled out until Sunday, September 15th. And it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. So the input will assist us to implement programs to better help vulnerable residents, including our Kapuna. And responses are confidential. So it's this copy, I believe, is uploaded into your Google Drive if you want to access it, and it has a QR code. I passed it out at tonight's board meeting for the in-person people, and it's also available at the satellite city halls. Probably this flyer, I'm thinking, is there. And of course, go to boardofwatersupply.com. So that's my one announcement.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the board, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Mr. Sung.
I just want to say thank you for the quick response to the water leak on New Mountain Road. I mean, you guys, I reported it. Someone came within half an hour, did the survey, and by the time I woke up in the morning, thing was fixed and covered.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, talk about fast.
Yeah, we always try to get it done as quickly as possible, so I'm glad that you're happy with that. And what was that road again?
Numana.
Okay, thanks. I'll let them know.
And they didn't tear up the whole road.
It was on a good part of the road that they didn't have to.
Yeah, it was, he marked up the whole road, but they only did a small little spot.
I'll let them know. I'll give a kudos. I'll let them know that we
Yeah.
appreciate the time, speed of it.
Oh, yeah, they had it done within 8 hours,
Sure.
which
I'm
I'm
glad.
not surprised it'd probably be a record.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Oh, Mr. Rojas? Yeah.
Yes, is the wastewater rate based on wastewater rate in the future, would that be in hand with the road water supply? Because you guys rated by the use of the water?
So the wastewater rate, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. That's a different department, so I'm not sure on their schedule or, their schedule. I'm not sure about their schedule or what they're doing for their rate study or rate. But your question inquired in terms of total water supply impact?
Yeah, because total water supply is the user of the water eventually is related to the amount of water you use to go down to the
Going down
water
to the
treatment.
yeah. So
So how would that?
that's a good question on how to fix the sewer rates, other than it's how to say it? You have a certain usage of potable water.
Right.
They deduct about, I want to say, the first 1,000,000 gallons. The first, let me double check, but it's like they deduct the first 1,000,000 gallons, assuming that's going to go to watering your yard and stuff, and then the rest is what they charge you per bit.
Right.
Per
I guess
gallon of
what I
discharge.
want to know is like if you could get back to me,
Mhm.
is there going to be a water rate, or I mean, is there going to be a increase of rates for the use of the treatment plant
Yeah, I won't
and
be able to.
storm drain?
Okay, yeah, I won't be able to get back to you on that for the water rates, excuse me, for the sewer rates.
Yeah.
That's not our department, you maybe have to find out from that department or the
I
mayor.
was just wondering
And the
because
stormwater.
yeah, I was just
They would
wondering
answer that.
because you guys use the water use.
Yeah,
in
so we
order
have
to
our
calculate-
water rates, correct, but
Right.
how.
Also, you just
water
take care of the water rate, not
Correct, yeah, the water supply takes care of only the potable and recycled water rates actually, and not the sewer rates.
But if there's a leak on your water, like on your regular water pipe, and then it leaks out, then the rate, then the bill amount would increase, right?
You would still be charged for that water being used, but
Right.
you can, if you do know there is a leak, you can file a claim with the Board of Water Supply about the duration of this leak, what it might be. I don't know if how it gets proved or not, but, and you could put in for the adjustment to your water bill. I'm not exactly sure about the sewer side, that I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
because from what I understand, they go by the water use, and then at the same time, the rate of the water being going. Whatever water use that they use is eventually changes the rate of the use of the sewer line.
Yes, so we have our water rates that you'll be paying for the usage. If there was a leak, you would put in a claim that you had a leak between this date and this date. I guess you'd have to have some kind of plumber or something show how you had that leak. And then the sewer part, you still are gonna be charged at that usage that they assumed you used. And then you'd have to file with the wastewater,
Okay, so it's
For any
totally
adjustments.
from here. It's totally separate.
but it is separate, yeah, so.
Even if you see them on the
Yeah,
statement,
we
it
just
says
bill it, yeah, you print for
Yeah.
them, you print the sewer rates on our bill too, the sewer fees and payments. So that's separate.
Oh, Mr. Franklin.
Yes, ma'am. I want to get clarification on leak. If it's a leak on your end, say your pipe leak, but if my faucets are leaking, that bills me, right? So if I have a leak, because I have a leaky faucet in my house, I pay for that.
Correct.
But if we can prove that your line is leaking into the house, then you pay for that.
Our responsibility is up to your water meter, so yes, anything that's leaking up to your water meter
Right.
is ours, and I don't know how
That's
you'll
why I'm
be able
trying
to
to
see it,
clarify
but
it.
once it's after your water meter, so say you had a hose bib or something, a
Yeah.
leak right after the meter, and to your property valve, that is your.
Yeah, I just didn't want people to think if they have a leaky
Yeah.
faucet that you will pay for it. You're not. You only pay to your meter and anything else is on us no matter what.
It's no matter what, but if you can prove why it's leaking or the amount, they may, I'm not saying they will adjust it, but it might be such a small quantity and it's like, 50 cents. Because your water bill is actually not too bad, but it's still a bill, right? But yeah, it may just be a very nominal, small amount that I'm not sure if we're gonna submit for that, but hey, any money back?
I guess it's my point was
Oh, Mr.
when the water leaks around your vicinity, your property, and then the rate changes, but eventually it didn't go down into the treatment plant.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was trying to.
I don't know, depending on your usage, your rate wouldn't change unless you go up the next tier of level water usage. And at that point, you also do that's part of your submittal of this date to this date. So they would see maybe your usage and, it's what you submit to them, yeah.
Mr. Kumalai had a question as well.
Yeah, you know, recently in the news, we heard about petroleum chemicals found in our aquifer away from the initial contamination site in radio. Should water supply customers be concerned about the safety of their water in their homes?
It's a good question. We do test very often, and if there is, we have testing in wells that we aren't using, and that may be, and then monitor wells. That may be where they're picking up the contamination. But if it's a drinking well that we're using and we test that there's something, we shut it off and we notify. We will notify the public of it. So safety-wise, we're going to be notifying and we'd stop
So
using the
no
water.
notification?
Is
No,
it?
not yet.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
so if
So
we
all
notified that
water
there was
is-
something, but we didn't shut anything off and we didn't tell you don't
So
drink.
all water is safe so far?
Yeah, for Board of Water Supplies,
Yeah,
water. There's other private
yeah, potable water.
potable water, yeah.
Yeah.
There's other private places that we don't control, and even the other military, we may not provide water to them, so we cannot say anything about them.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I got one more. To
Mr.
bring in
Rojas?
as far as the water quality, for example, I realized that the pH of the water, is there a certain range for the Board of Water Supply that adjusts the water pH for it? Because I farm in Hawaii, the pH goes all the way up to 8 to 9, and then the one at home in here in Kalihi Valley, it's stays between 7.5, and then it goes down to 7. Is there a reason why it does that?
I'll double check, but the pH, every source is different. So there's blending of sources, so that might be why there's adjustments in pH levels. So Kalihi area might be that 7, like you said, and Waikai might be that range. I'll check though if we adjust it. I don't think we do. I think, but I'll ask that question and see what I can provide next month.
Okay.
pH value adjustments.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for the whole Board of Water Supply, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none, thank you. Had a little mix up. Up next, though, is filing of vacancies. There is one at-large vacancy. Are there any nominations at this time? Can you do self-nominations?
Yeah, so excuse me. A resident could volunteer to fill a vacancy, and then they would still need to be nominated by a board member.
Okay. Okay. So are there any nominations for the filing of vacancy? Oh,
Nominate the gentleman there.
You know his name?
Sir, may I ask your name?
Chris.
I'd like to nominate Chris.
Chris Lualemaga.
Okay.
I forgot. Should I mention why there's a filing vacancy? I totally forgot.
Yeah, you could.
I was supposed to mention it in the beginning of the meeting as well, but why there is a filing of vacancy is because Ethan Dayton has resigned from the board. I do wish him well, and I wish him all the great things in the future for him. And I would like to say, if he's hearing this, that he's welcome to come back, or to come back if in the future if he wants to. But
You want to election?
just wanted to let you know, yeah. But
Congratulations to him.
so we have one nomination though for Chris Lualemaga, and are there any more nominations?
Chair, this is Chekahasi.
Oh, hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
I'm
we can
sorry.
hear.
I'm not on my way in person to the meeting, but I wanted to add, there's a gentleman named Warren Okazaki. I wasn't sure if he is present at the meeting, but he had told me that he was interested also in filling the vacancy, but I'm not sure if he's there in the room.
Warren Okazaki, is that correct? Is Warren Okazaki here? Okay.
That guy, right?
Possibly, but he's not. Yeah. There
Yeah.
was.
We don't see Warren in the room right now, Ikaika.
Yeah, not
Okay,
right now.
no problem.
Thank
Thank
you.
Wishing you congratulations.
Oh yes, we wish Ethan congratulations.
Congratulations on your election.
Oh, sorry, Ikaika. I'm so sorry. I'm getting people confused. Congratulations, Ikaika, on your winning the elections. Was it a?
Thank you very much.
I'm forgetting the name. Was it primary or it's not?
Primary.
It was a primary. Okay, so that was the primary election. The upcoming is the.
Yes, but
Okay.
it's primary.
Okay. Yeah. Are there any more nominations, or are we? Are there any more nominations for the at-large vacancy?
I volunteer.
Jameson volunteers, and the board member has to.
Would someone like to nominate?
Yeah.
Or-
Any board members would like to nominate James Sung?
Oh, this is Ikaika. I'll nominate Mr. Sung
There you
if
go.
he's
Okay.
there. That's great.
Yes.
Thank you, Ikaika. So Ikaika nominates James
James
Sung for the filing or for the at-large vacancy. And if there are any, no more nominations at this time, we could go to voting. If you don't want to vote at this time, you can vote for abstain.
Okay, so we have Chris Lualemaga and Mr. James Soong.
Chester has his hand up.
Sure, what's up, Chester?
Oh, Chester? Oh, I think he just.
Sorry.
Sit down.
Mistake.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. So Chris or James?
Wait,
Randy?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Ikaika.
I'm wondering if
Yes.
we might allow for the two candidates to just say a brief bit about why they'd like to serve on the board. Would that be okay?
Yeah, definitely. Did either Chris or James want to come up to have a minute to give a little speech about why you should be picked for the board?
Go ahead.
Junk in the po-
From last time.
I know.
Well,
Can add
thank
on.
you again. Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Chris Lulimanga. For those that may not know me, I'm born and raised in Kalihi Valley. Went through all the schools, Kaliuka, Dole, and Farrington. I moved away for a bit and came back with my family, back to Kalihi Valley. And both me and my wife decided that would be our permanent home. And from growing up, you know, I still see some of the little problems that I saw growing up here in Kalihi Valley that, you know, I just want to play a small role to help out our community, and that's our home. And, you know, it's going to rub shoulders with the board members to help improve our community, make it a safe and sustainable place for us to live. And, you know, I'm currently studying public health now, and working closely with Mufi Hanneman and learning some of the things that, you know, going underneath his wings and just be able to learn new things every day and stuff like that. And so I just want to be able to be that tiny voice within Kalihi Valley that we can voice our concerns and our needs towards the city and county and how they can help improve where we call home. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
James Sung. Been coming to these neighborhood board meetings for a year and a half now, I think it is. Only missed two since I've been attending. One thing I found out coming here is, you know, the vision of Lei, who's our new leader, and one thing that she wants to do is really get the committees up and running and back, like the other neighborhood boards, and really making a difference. And I'm here volunteering to help her with her vision on how she wants neighborhood board meetings to go and how we could help the community. It's the community helping community that will make a difference within our community. Oh, something like some presidential nominee. Anyway, but we need to really work within the community to make a difference. And even though we're not sitting at the chair level of the community committees, we're able to bring, I guess, we're able to bring other people in, right? So if we want to talk to the people who are in charge of roads on the state and city level, we're able to ask them to come in. You'll be able to, if we have concerns about water in our committee, you could ask Iris to come back and have her people come in and talk. But having that conversation, really finding out what we could do, working with the resources that we have to really make a difference. Talking to the people within the community. And that's the reason why I'm volunteering. Because even though we are the smallest neighborhood board in all of Wahoo, we still have a voice. And we still have needs. And that's what this is all about, is us helping Kalihi Valley, that is still, at this time, only has one restaurant. And every other neighborhood board definitely has more than one, right? So, I mean, how can we, have two pretty soon, Bob Big Boy can be in. But, you know, our GDP is the smallest, right? So how do we improve what we have here? And that's the reason why I'm signing up, volunteering.
Thank you. Okay. And if there are any more comments or concerns, or if there are no comments and concerns at this time, we can go straight to voting, if you'd like.
Okay, well, once again, Chris and James. Randy Franklin.
Chris.
Ikaika Hussey.
James.
Chester Koga.
James.
Alan Kumalai.
Chris.
Simeon Rojas.
I wish I could pick one of them, but I gotta pick only one. Chris.
Fernando Tan.
Chris.
Michael Gotti.
Chris.
And Chair Leiloha Tumaga.
Chris.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 votes for Chris. Congratulations, Chris.
Oh, Chris, you can come up. Because you have to go to.
Yeah, I will. You could feel free to grab a seat anywhere up here, and when you're ready, I'll swear you in really quick. So if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support the Constitution and laws
that I faithfully support the Constitution and laws
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Hawaii,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Hawaii,
the Charter and laws of the City and County,
the Charter and laws of the City and County,
and the provisions of the Neighborhood Plan,
and the provisions of the neighborhood,
and will conscientiously and impartially
and conscientiously and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
to the best of my ability
to the best of my abilities
as a member of the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board.
as a member of the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And then we move on to, okay. And then we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is city elected officials, Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Bandmaster Clark Bright. Is he on my management's office?
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Aloha. Congratulations, Chris. Welcome on board. Aloha, Chair, members, and community. Just want to give a couple of announcements first from the mayor. His monthly highlight newsletter.
After this.
His monthly highlight newsletter. The link is in the chat. You can take a look if you want. Just going to touch on it real quickly. The city continues to add new treatment options for Oahu's chronically homeless population. Friends and family members remember Honolulu lifeguard Tamayo Perry. The new acting director of the Honolulu Ocean Safety Department was sworn in at Honolulu Hale. The Waikiki community comes together to unveil new trash cans designed to keep trash off of Oahu's beaches. And restoration work concludes on the Mahatma Gandhi statue near the zoo. Once again, that can be found in the chat. Another announcement from the NCO and HFD. If you desire to find out more information about the incidents that have taken place near you, feel free to go to responsemapping.com where you can get more information about anything that took place within the Hawaii Honolulu Fire Department. That link is also in the chat as well. Just following up on some departmental issues. One involved a resident reporting an illegal car shop on Kalihi Street in the residential area. So from the Department of Parks and from permitting, planning and permitting, multiple inspections conducted by DPP between the 23rd and 29th of July revealed no commercial activity or vehicle repairs taking place. Additionally, no fumes were detected from the sidewalk area. That's DPP's response. Also want to follow up on an issue that was reported earlier. It was in regards to no parking signs. The request to have them installed on Kalihi Street near 1710, near the bridge and the street entrance. From DTS, they completed their investigation. They did observe illegally parked vehicles within the area of concern and recommends no parking on bridge signs to deter vehicles from parking on the unimproved sidewalk on the stream bridge. Also added that residents may assist by calling HPD to enforce illegally parked vehicles. They are going to put in for work orders from the Department of Facilities Maintenance to replace the signs, to restrike the faded pavement markings, and to install a no parking on the bridge sign. So once again, I really want to applaud the community. This is your neighborhood board at work. This is why you folks get together to make these things happen. It will take place, and we appreciate your input about that. Thank you and congratulations on that. That's all I have. If you have questions or please.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board, online or in person? Mr. Franklin.
How you doing, sir? My first question is, does the Safe Route from School program belongs to the mayor or the governor?
I am not sure, but I can certainly find out. Could you repeat that again? Safe Oahu Schools? Is that what it is?
Safe routes from school. It's supposed to be, they talked to us about 2 months ago. I think it might be a governor's program where they're sitting on $10 million, and yet we can't get crosswalks painted around our elementary schools or our signs replaced. I just want to know if that was your program or was the governor's program.
I will do some research to find out whatever it is, and if it is ours, we'll get information to you. If it's the governor's, we'll pass it on to you as well through their office.
Yes, sir. My next question is for if the mayor is going to enact for Honolulu, like we know that hurricane shelters do not work and there's not enough for us. Are they going to enact like homeowners shelter programs like at Home Depot? They sell a shelter that a family can put on their property that can house 10 people. That's a category 5. So you don't have to try to run out your house to find a shelter. You can go in your backyard and have a shelter. These shelters are less than $20,000. Are they going to try to enact programs like they did for the homeowners program where we can take out a loan for like 15 years at $89 a month that we can get a permit and put these shelters on our property so we don't have to run around when a category 5 comes and trying to look for shelters that will not protect us? But Home
Thank you
Depot
so much.
already sell these shelters.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Franklin. We will do some research and get back to you on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rojas?
Yes. Sir, just clarifying and defining the last report that you had made on Kalihi Street. As far as the no parking sign, just to clarify and just to put it on detail, the unimproved road from the bridge to the unimproved road on the sidewalk, that's where the no parking sign is going to be placed. Is that confirmed?
Yes, let me read it again. Thank you for that. So they recommend that a no parking on the bridge sign be placed to deter vehicles from parking on the unimproved sidewalk on the stream bridge. Yes,
Yes.
thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Luwalimaka.
Thank you for your time. I just want to, I guess, get an update on the intersection of Kalihi and Kamanaiki Street, where that bus stop is there, where the bus is letting people off. It's a very dangerous area. I don't know if you guys have any plans. I know I work with Miss Lynn, and she said that you guys need to send someone out there to do a survey. I don't know your plans on that. And then I have another question as well.
Thank you for that question. If it wasn't followed up on earlier, I'll make sure to do some research and follow up on it and get back to you. She may have some more information as well, as I believe they're coming up soon. But if that wasn't shared, we will get back to you with that information. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And I also put in a request to repaint the lines from Ono Restaurant all the way up on Kalihi Street, as far as like the street lines and the crosswalks. There's multiple areas, and I've also noted the cross streets within that main road, Kalihi Street, to be repainted because they're pretty much in as you're driving Malka on Kalihi Street.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you for that. From Oda Restaurant, you said to where?
To where
Board
Kalihi
member,
Street
I'm
ends.
sorry, this is Lynn. I don't mean to interrupt, Bandmaster, but yeah, risers have been submitted and it's part of my report.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So hear from
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Are
you,
there
Chris.
yeah. And Mr. Franklin also has a
I have
question.
another question for you, sir. On the Cam 4 rec center that's been going on for 10 years, have anybody figured out, because we're still in the planning stage of that, I keep told, if it belongs to the city or it belongs to the government, the state, who is in charge of building the rec center that's been in planning for 10 years in Cam 4? Because those kids have no rec centers, no learning centers, they have nothing there. But for 10 years, it's been in the planning stages. I'm trying to figure out for the last 6 months, who owns that? Either the city or the state owns it, because for some reason we cannot get them any service in Cam 4.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. I do believe we had done a report on that one, of that, as that was state owned. That property was state owned, which could come up in another report soon. If I am wrong, then we'll get back to you as well. But I believe that's state owned.
I got one last question, sir. For 6 months, I've been trying to get in Cam 4, because we represent this board, represent Cam 4, trying to figure out if they have any organizations in there for the kids, any learning, any studies for the kids. But it's the hardest thing to get to, because I spoke to Mr. Park and Ms. Wiggum in Cam 4 to try to see if this board can do a meeting in Cam 4. We can meet with the representatives of Cam 4, because we just can't keep saying those kids are throwing tomatoes, they're committing crime, and they're doing a lot of stuff, and we are absolutely not trying to help those children in Cam 4 at all. There got to be some bright minds in there that we can get some help to. And that's why I'm pushing the rec center. But as I talk to the people that's in charge of Cam 4, I'm getting zero feedback far as if they have any committee, any boards, any organizations that empower them to control their lives and maybe make a better life for themselves. But I cannot find anybody that's in charge of Cam 4, and I've talked to Mr. Park and Ms. Wiggins, that will either get back to me or talk to me or let me know that there's organizations in Cam 4 that we can reach out to as a board to see if we can assist them with anything in that community. And I've had zero help with that. I want to know if the mayor can help us branch out the CAM 4 because it is part of this board and talk to the community leaders inside of CAM 4 and see if they want to come to this board and tell us what they need or what we can help them with.
I can certainly do some research on that. If it is state managed, I believe he would probably refer to that organization. But again, we can reach out to see if there's anything the mayor can do to help with that.
Okay.
This is Senator Kim, and Camp Forth Housing is a state project. So just to let you know, I know they're working on, they got monies to do the rec center. The Safe Streets, Clark, is a DTS project, so it is with the city. Safe Streets to Schools.
I have a question for you, for
Mr. Rojas?
Senator Donna Kim.
Oh wait, it's not her yet. It's still, yeah, mayor's. But are there any more questions from the board, online or in person, for Mayor Rick Langiardi's representative? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community? Oh,
Well, I mean, if
Mr.
it is
Guy.
city, then I guess your question is.
I'll be to the city next.
Well, this is state.
Well, oh, it's a city. I'm sorry.
Mayor, city elected official for the mayor. Yeah.
Right, since we're still on the city, can I ask one question?
Okay, Mr. Rojas,
Yeah,
you have
just
a
one
question?
thing. So
Yeah.
just to clarify as well, we have a problem homeless right on the Kalihi Street and the Kiluhana, which is the bridge, what we call. That's why we request for no parking sign. And then the one thing that I wanted to bring out is, what about the no trespassing into the bridge? Is that a city or is that a state? Who's gonna put the no trespassing so that we don't have a homeless encampment under the bridge?
Sorry to interrupt again. This is Lynn. Also part of my report, Board Member Rojas.
Okay.
They're on it. But are there any questions from the community, online or in person, for the mayor, Mr. Sung?
Bandmaster Clark, this is James Sung.
Hi.
Just want to say congratulations on your facility on Kapilani Boulevard. Happy that you finally got one. About that is, are you guys open to the public at all for us to tour?
I am sorry, could you repeat that again?
Are you open to the public at all, your facility? Is there like a museum or something like that I heard inside?
We hope to have times where the public can stop by. We are presently working on an area that would assist in displaying artifacts of our prized history. And when that does come out, we'll definitely let the public know and have times that'll make it available for them, yes.
Once again, congratulations. Now my question is, a couple months ago, I think in the beginning of this year, I asked about a no parking sign from 325 on Numano Road. Just trying to see if there's an update on that. I know you did report on it in the beginning of the year.
I personally don't remember anything on Numano Road, any parking signs. If it was, we'll get back, check our research and get back to you. Lynn seems to have everything going with all the other that as well. Numano Road, Lynn, anything?
I don't, but I can absolutely follow up and we'll get to that request in.
Got it. Thank you. Are there any more questions?
I'm sorry, real quick, James, do you know exactly where that is on Numano Road? Do you have an address or?
Where Numana and Kalihi Street is, that on the right-hand side of the road.
Numana and Kalihi. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the community, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you. I did miss the residents and community concerns. So I will circle back and ask if there are any residents and community concerns at this time. 3 minutes each. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
You have to go to the, we can do it, right?
Yeah, as long as speaking towards the mic here. Yeah. If you have graphics, you could show it off because the
It's just
videos.
this tiny
okay.
little flyer that I have for everyone. Good evening, board member, newly elected, and chair and community. I'm Karen Awana, and I'm the director for Kalihi Academy. It's a brand new charter school that opened our doors on July 27th of this year. We have 106 graders entering our school. And we're located at the old St. John the Baptist school site. Our school is unique in that we are preparing our students for top-paying STEM jobs. We have a comprehensive artificial intelligence and data science curriculum. Our sixth graders are coding programs, flying drones, building self-driving cars, mastering augmented reality, and connecting their community through eCyber mission. This year we are at capacity, but we are accepting applications for next year for both our 6th and 7th grade. And if you're interested in more information, you can contact us at info@kalihiacademy.org, and it is on the flyer. And I'd be more than happy to address any questions if you have any. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, anyone? Oh, Mr. Rojas had one question.
Since you mentioned about limited space, could you be specific on the limited space?
We were approved 100 seats. So initially this year we have 106 graders. Next year, those 6th graders will go on to 7th grade, and we may have openings in 7th grade next year, but we'll be allowing another 106 graders until we go up to the senior year, 12th grade. So 100, 100, 100, and then we pushed up. And then once we reach the 12th grade, we'll start working our way down. So we'll go down to 5th, 4th, 3rd, all the way down to kindergarten. So our long-term goal is to have maybe more than one campus that can accommodate kindergarten through 12th grade.
I guess that was one of my other questions.
Right.
My other question would be, are you just targeting this community for this 100 seat, or?
Well, because it is a charter school, we are not bound by districts. We can accept students from all over the island. As a matter of fact, we have students from all over the island, from Waianae to Hawaii Kai to Kailua, Kaneohe, Kaka'ako. Although our intention to have our school in the Kalihi area was after a large, extensive research in areas where charter schools were needed, and we saw that Kalihi is an area that did not have a charter school that was successful in this area. So the intention was to have it in Kalihi, and especially because of the centralized location, right? It's right off the H1. Our hours are expanded, so we do extended. So we start at 8, but we can receive students from 7 a.m. and the last student should be picked up by 5.
Last question. So, where did you get the funding for your education?
The funding for the flyers came through our foundation, and it came in the form of donations from business people who saw the importance to have this type of curriculum in our school system.
So we don't know if it's gonna last long. It's just a trial.
Yeah, but you never know until you try, right?
Until the community get involved, right? Or
Right,
people.
and what we've had is a strong support from the community. Our charter commission had warned us that when you say you're going to have 100, you might want to shoot for 200 because 100 may show up. But we shot for 100. We got 200 applicants, but at the end, about 100, less than 110 applied.
And
But of that, we have 100 students.
And you
So
said
they
that
did-
this was around St. John area?
Yes, it's located at the old St. John the Baptist
Okay.
School. So that would end up being our middle school because of the size of the campus. So 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, Mr. Franklin, medical.
I just have one question. You're gonna, on your website, have a QR code on it so we can put you on our flyers and we can push you out to
Thank you so
everyone
much.
to let them know where you are. So on your website, we'll have one.
I'll make sure they have one if they don't.
Please, so we can push this school out
Thank you.
And
to
also,
everyone.
yeah, and also I think I would like to invite you here for our meeting every month, so that way you can be more involved.
Provide updates.
Provide updates.
Yes.
I love this thing to go through. You know,
Yes.
it's good for our next generation. So
Thank you.
I love it.
And
I was just curious, how many kids from Kalihi will be attending
That's
this
a very
school?
good question. We have approximately a little less than half. So that's really good if you think island-wide.
So you said 166
100
students.
students.
100 students.
Yes, so we have about 43 from the Kalihi Valley, Kalihi Palama area.
I know when I saw your flyer, I wanted my grandson in Maui to come to this school.
Yes.
That's how he learns. Yeah.
But we may be doing collaborations with schools from neighbor islands as well because of the curriculum and
Yes.
the ability to do virtual schooling.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, Dana Yap had one more question as well.
How many students can you handle on the campus?
I believe we can handle maybe about 300 students on the campus. Right now we have 100, so we say 6th, 7th, and 8th grade with 100.
That's good. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, are there any more residents and community concerns? Okay, seeing and hearing none, online or in person? Oh, seeing and hearing none. So then we'll circle now back to city elected official, council member Tyler Dos Santos Tam, who will have all the answers.
Aloha, Chair.
Aloha.
Member. Congratulations to our new board member, and congratulations to Ikaika, his primary one. I'm Lynn Robinson for Council Member Tyler Dos Santos Tam. I'll start, well, before I start my report, I want to make sure that I have good information about the no parking sign on Numana and Kalihi. Is that, because I can put in that request and follow up with the board. I just, are we replacing a sign or are we requesting and no park, like where should the sign go? Is it better that we talk offline about that? I'm gonna need some more details to put it into my request for investigation and service report.
Mr. Sung? Yeah.
Numana?
It was Mr. Sung. Yeah, James Sung.
I put in the request back maybe I think in February, no parking from 3 to 5 on Numana, on the corner of Numana and Kalihi. It's just in the beginning of it. And someone was gonna go do a study and that was it. That's the last time I heard. So I was just following up on it. I could look up the address if you need it.
That would be helpful. And then I
So-
can try to follow up on the traffic study. So it was referred to DTS and they were gonna take a look at the feasibility of the sign.
Yeah, so from 2804 Numana Road to 2826 Numana Road. There's a little strip. Basically, Numana is a one-way, basically a one-way, it's a two-way road, but only one car could drive by at a time. So, during,
And it's just too congested at that time?
well, you're trying to turn onto Numana, and you have people trying to leave Numana, and you have the bus, because you have Alejandro's there, you have the bus stop right there, you have people trying to make that left-hand turn, people coming out, and people getting off the bus, so it gets pretty backed up in that area. And just giving up one more road with no parking, cars not parking there will probably speed up that area just a tad bit. And plus, people are abandoning vehicles left and right on that little strip.
Please reach out to our office about abandoned vehicles as well, because we're trying to do all that we can to get the abandoned vehicle division out there to take a look. So I will put that request in and I'll follow up with the board. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for the clarification. Okay, so our office continues to collaborate with Representative Mizuno's office to clean up and around the bridge at Kalihi and Kilahana. Obviously, there's have been ongoing issues with an encampment that's underneath that bridge. We've done community cleanups and have been advised by our community policing team that it's difficult for them to enforce because, well, number one, the property around there is now confirmed to be private property, so that but they were asking for no trespassing signs to aid in their enforcement. I'm very happy to report that request for no trespassing signs in the parcels around that area has been referred to the Department of Facility Maintenance, and they have generated a service request number for that. So not going through DTS and to go through the longer process of looking into feasibility. So they don't give us a timeline, but we're very encouraged that this has been referred and the project has a service request number. I'm working with a couple of community leaders, to include board member Rojas, to see about doing future community cleanups in that area. We still are battling, illegal dumping and other illegal, it's really the dumping issue that we need to address. So I'm in touch with them. We're going to see what city agencies we can engage. It's also, community policing has strongly advised community members not to do organized cleanups without police presence because of the dangers of the safety issues related to some of the people that are sleeping under the bridge. So we're moving forward with that. We also have consistently had outreach from CORE and Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction out there to give them opportunities over and over again to do the right thing and maybe get into a shelter space and get the help that they need. We will continue to do that. So moving on, regarding Chris's request to repaint faded road lines on Kalihi Street, the DFN Division of Road Maintenance initiated a service request number to repaint the faded pavement markings on Kalihi Street between Emma Place and Nalanieha Street. Work will be scheduled when resources are available, pending good weather conditions. So that's moving forward as well. Our office has requested DTS to conduct a traffic study to address concerns with speeding from Nalanieha and Kuikela Street. DTS will conduct their investigation, which may require research, site inspections, and an analysis of the area's traffic collision history. DTS expects to have their investigation completed by the end of this month, and our office will share any results. I want to circle back because I know that it was requested. I know that that we have our reports to your board ahead of time. Did the board receive our report?
Yes.
Chair? Okay, so you have that. And also, I've put in the chat the link to our August newsletter and all of our newsletters. Also, one more question. I dropped off some hard copies to the Neighborhood Board Commission. Did the hard copies make it to the meeting? Did you guys have
the flyer only.
Yes, they're on every table here, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that the process is working, and I so appreciate the commission for doing that for us. Now, I see that on the agenda the B item A, right?
Yeah.
There's the question about the parks, about the leash dogs. Did you need me to follow up on that, Chair?
Is there follow-up?
Yeah, we saw the letter you sent, requesting feedback from the community on if there are any dog parks that are not designated as a leash dog park. I'm sorry, you probably know more about this than I do, but if you would like to get some feedback from the community, maybe someone here has an idea of a park that should be designated as a leash dog park.
So thank you so much, Spencer. So yeah, we have gotten some feedback from community members. So Councilmember wanted to take the initiative and see if there was, if other community members felt that there's a need for on-leash, initially, dog parks. So for your neighborhood board for 16, the options that don't have, the ones that are no dogs right now, is DeCourt Park and Kalihi Uka Park and Kalihi Valley District Park. So, you could give feedback either way. You could absolutely just reach out to me personally, but if the board wanted to kind of take a look and decide, I mean, there's one way to look at it to say, that'd be great, no problem. Let's just have leash dogs in all the parks, or to look at them individually, or you could say that, you don't see the need. But we do have, Parks has told us that they, with our recommendations from our office, including testimony from community members, that they will consider and let dogs go into these parks. So that's kind of all it is. It's up to you folks the way that you might want to give feedback. We would ask that any community members that are not on the board, please reach out to our office if you have any feelings one way or the other, and we'll pass that along to Parks. So again, it's DeCourt Park, Kalihi Uka Park, Kalihi Valley District Park.
Did you need that feedback soon? Was there a deadline?
They said the deadline is tomorrow, I think.
Do you need it now?
Yeah, well,
it says
knowing that,
by
being that we weren't able to discuss it last month and you're getting your clarification now, I think that we can allow a grace period in all fairness to you folks. So maybe if you could get back to us before the next board meeting, and I'll let council member know.
Miss, or are you
Questions on that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Okay. Okay, so Mr. Rojas or Mr. Franklin has a question.
Yes, Lynn. On the court park, I used to have my kids playing baseball there. I'm not even sure what that park is used for, because they have a baseball diamond down there that every time you go down there to bat with a baseball, the residents come out their house and start screaming at you because you're hitting the balls over the fence. So they have a baseball field down there that is completely not being used, because I take my kids down anyway. I don't care what they say. I'm gonna hit the damn ball. I'm gonna hit the ball, excuse me. But they have a baseball diamond down in the court park at the bottom of the park that can just be fenced off and used as an off-leash dog park, because that baseball diamond is being used for absolutely nothing. And for us, Kalihi Uka Park, I'm trying to get investors now, because the kids, the 430 kids that go to Kalihi Uka School, does not have a playground. They're playing on concrete every day for the last 10 years or 20 years. They're enclosed inside the basketball court. If they run and fall, they're on concrete. Yet Kalihi Uka Park has a grass area that is completely not being used. So I'm using my own money to put up the program to try to get investors to come down so those 430 kids can use that whole park when they have recess. They can run around the track, they can play soccer on the grass, they can get off the concrete. But it seems to be the hardest thing in the world. But if you ask me my opinion, the court park has a huge baseball diamond down there that is not being used at all. that can instantly be turned into a dog park if they want to run around with no leash on it, because they have a fence around it already. It's minimum amount of money they would need to spend to turn that baseball diamond into a off-leash dog park. And it leaves the top of the park available for basketball playing and everything else. It's already segregated and it's already there. So that's my opinion.
No, I really appreciate that feedback. We, we worked really hard to clean up the court park. It wasn't safe for people to be over there for a very, very long time. And now we are looking for positive activity over there. We do talk about that on our site visits over there with the parks director and with the community policing team. So we're hoping now that it's safer that there will be more activity over there. I again appreciate the feedback. If anybody knows of anybody that's looking for a place for their teams to practice, we now know that it's safe and ready. As far as Kalihi Park, we've done a couple of obviously we worked really hard on Kalihi as well, and did that site visit with Director Thielen from Parks as well. She's well aware of the unevenness of that big space that's not even usable. Thinking that that's all kind of settled from likely like construction materials and stuff that were part of the backfill to go into the park. So I can circle back with her because I'll circle back with her. I don't, she was hoping that she could get it into a list of improvements and get the funding to even that all out and make it usable. So let me get back with you, Board Member Franklin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ikaika Hasi.
I just wonder if anyone else had any other feedback about the question that Lynn is asking. Was Christine? Did you have some thoughts maybe on?
Yeah, the Decoy Park is pretty much a dog park already. I mean, because we don't have team sports there, so. But I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna write to Lynn. But yeah, there are a lot of. I can get signatures. I can assemble signatures of people who would be interested from around the area to have it turned into a dog park.
Okay.
So two different issues, and that's valid too. In that letter that council member sent, the initial issue that he's asking about is about it basically comes down to signage and enforcement to be able to have on leash dogs allowed in the park. The second question is if you think the park has enough space for a fenced in area that would be an off leash dog park. And it sounds like there's some consensus here that maybe that would be an option for DeCourt Park. Is that so? Please send me an email, and if you need some time to get some signatures, so be it. But yeah, I think that there's just a lot. There's some hunger out there for this because there's not a lot of spaces in our urban center for people to take their dogs, and a lot of people have dogs. So we're just trying to accommodate everyone to have safe, healthy spaces and not be victims of enforcement, like, get in trouble for having your pets out there.
Thank you. Mr. Rojas also had a question.
Yeah, just to go back to the Kilohana and Kalihi Street, just to confirm the no trespassing, so we can call the police for reinforcement. When is that going to go up, Lynn?
We don't know. They did not give us a timeline, and that's common. So it's basically when resources are available, there will be, they're going to have to make the signs and then get them out there. So the feedback that we got. Now,
as far as
go ahead.
As far as the because now we justified the property boundaries on the stream side, she can start putting the no trespassing sign, right?
I'm not putting no trespassing signs because the homeless are there 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna walk down in their face and
No,
put
no.
up my signs.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah,
I was,
I completely under, I
I was
I
trying
would like
to,
to,
yeah, I was trying to verify the boundaries.
Oh.
So that way, the bridge side where they can hop over your beside your property.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking her when they're
Oh.
gonna put that on the bridge side, because
Oh,
they can hop over the bridge side. But as far as the boundaries, your property boundaries, I think it's all up to you to put it because it's your boundaries now. That's what I was gonna ask them.
Yeah,
So,
but
if I may,
Sure, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
yeah, Christina, I completely understand. There was a map that we looked at with D5 and council member of parcels that was sent to to DFM, so that are closest to entry points and that actually belong to the city. So that's where we're hoping that they go in those spots. As far as the homeowner putting no trespassing signs on her property, also from the community policing team, they completely understand that that might not be feasible at this time because we don't want anyone to be put in danger.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to let the government entity and the police department move forward with that. And then hopefully later, after we're able to enforce and get them out of there, then maybe the property manager, without fear of, right, bad guys on the property, will then erect signs. Does that make sense to everyone?
Wait, Lynn. I remember when we had the meeting. As far as the stated, what is stated from the police department, it says that if, let's say, for example, there is a dangerous situation in the river, and that's part of her property, they will not be able to enforce it unless there's no trespassing sign in there. So that means even if you call the police, that's what I understood. If there's no trespassing sign for them to back them up, they're not going to enforce anything unless it's happening outside it. That's what we had in the meeting.
I did not interpret their feedback to be that at all. They just want some signage out there to show that no one is supposed to be going inside that property, and then they can enforce. And so the city signs should suffice.
Okay, so that's good. That it's positive that we're putting the no parking sign soon.
So, just so you know, that wasn't a request that we did. Remember that we had discussed that maybe we had hoped that the neighborhood board would come to a consensus because the community policing team had some concerns because there's actual neighbors that utilize that parking area. Now, if it's coming, it's coming. If it went through the mayor's office, that's fine. And if you, but again, that's a little controversial. So we hope for the best. We hope that the community.
The most important part was the protection of the people who live in that area, who's concerned that the problem is that they are trespassing into the river and also getting into underneath the bridge. So there's two entities there now. Now you guys that justify that the property boundaries is under her. So now and from our meeting at the Capitol, they said at that point, I recorded it, they cannot do any enforcement if there is no trespassing sign. So even if
but now we're putting up the sign, so that's the good news.
They've been calling cops every time, and there's no acknowledgement, there is no enforcement because there is no reason for them to get in because obviously they are inside the river. So that's why it's very important that we need to put a no trespassing sign. That's why I'm asking. It's because now that we know the boundaries as justified today's meeting, she can put a no trespassing sign, and that means she can call the police now, and then they can make enforcement inside the river.
But that's going to be up to her. And what I'm hearing is that it's not right. So we're gonna do what the city can do right now. That was the recommendation from the community policing team. Their recommendation was not for the property owner to get involved at any point right now until the bad guys are gone.
Yeah.
Full
Well,
stop.
it's not just the property owner, it's the community who's around there, the neighbors. They was very concerned about it, period.
Obviously,
And
yeah,
the only-
we're all.
Yeah.
Start, that's a
Yeah.
city sounds,
Yeah.
that's a start, that's a good step.
Yeah.
So I'm good with,
Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm just trying to protect the neighborhood, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Mr. Luole Maga?
Hello, Lynn. Just getting a feedback of the cross section of White Lele and Kalihi Street, that intersection. If you have any feedback on what we're gonna do, or if you guys send someone out to survey that intersection.
Was that the one that I mentioned? No.
No.
Did we already discuss this?
I've emailed you about it.
Okay. I'm gonna need to get back with you because I'll have to look it up in the database. But I'm sure that it was, if we that I submitted it. It's just probably in the queue with DTS. So
Thank
tell
you.
me the street name. It's Kalihi
And White Lele Street.
and Wailele. Okay.
And if you guys are gonna do anything with the bus stop there on Kalihi Street and White Lele, if you guys are gonna move it up, or because buses are dropping off people right there on the road, and we have like aunties and grandmas that are getting off the bus and just walking on the street, and very dangerous.
And there's a blind
Okay,
crosswalk.
this is what I have submitted June 26th. Request for a traffic study at the three-way intersection of Kalihi and Kamanaiki and Wailele streets. Community members are concerned about the pedestrian congestion from the bus stop and the high speed of vehicle traffic, making it unsafe for elderly in Keiki Crossing between Wailele and Kalihi Street. This request comes from the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board. So that was submitted on the 26th and has been referred to the Department of Transportation, and they just take a little bit. So I have the board, I have you listed as the contact for all of these updates, right? So any update that I get will be sent to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank
One
you,
last
Mr.
question.
Rojas. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to Kilohana and Kali Street again. There was a erosion on the bridge area. I think that was sidewalk. Do you know anything about that, Ikaika? That's your committee?
No, I have no information about that.
I had been requesting for that to be looked at. What's causing the erosion? She's even working about the erosion on the bridge side near your home.
Yeah.
are you talking about the storm drain?
Yeah, the storm drain. There's an erosion that we mentioned, but I just wanted an update on what they're gonna do about it. Yeah. And also,
I don't
because-
recall us talking about erosion.
Yeah, I also
We
mentioned
talked
it.
about it in our sidewalks committee.
Yes.
And I did talk with someone, I can't remember the name of the person, Lynn, I'm sorry, but I did talk with someone at, I think it was DTS about it.
Uh-huh.
I'll find the name and send it over to you.
Yeah, if there's anything I can do to help, you let me know.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the board, online or in person?
I think Dana.
Yeah. And questions from the community, Dana? Yeah.
Lynn, I know this was brought up before, but since we moved and all the transition from Kalihi to school, the parks that you mentioned, I think one was missed because Mr. Oshiro's not here, and that's the Kalihi White Park.
Yep.
I just was wondering what the future of that was, because it seems like since he's not here, that park got dropped from the list of improvements or whatever the status is, whatever you wanted to do. Because that's his street, and he hasn't been on the meetings.
Yeah, that's the park that I was asking you for, community garden, but we could use that for a dog park as well.
What's the name of the park?
Kalihi.
Kalihi.
Kalihi. Is it Piliwai?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Pili.
Okay, so what is the issue related to it? Are we looking at a dog park, or are there other improvements that need to happen over there?
Was it to be utilized as something, because it just sits there now as a dead end to a pretty big acreage as far as.
Yes, I think it's a 5-acre land, and also I was requesting, that was one of the proposals that I wanted to propose for a community garden, but if we need it, it's big, it's wide, we can use them for dog park as well.
And there's already like breadfruit trees and stuff there.
Plus you got the water from the river.
Yeah, it's very lush.
And we need to clean the river, so we'll figure that out. It's another project.
Okay, so specifically, if I put in a request to parks, what am I asking for in Pilibai?
Community garden and also dog park. That's a possibility.
Okay. Okay, so I will add it. We will add it to our list for a possible dog. Are we talking a dog park, like a fenced-in dog park, or just to have the dogs in there on leash?
It's the limit
Kitty?
is kind of split. I think it's not so different.
Yeah.
Or just community garden.
Yeah.
Okay, so board member Rojas, we should talk offline, because if I just go and ask for a community garden, that it's not going to be your best step forward.
Yeah.
We should put together a plan.
Proposal.
Yeah, put together the proposal, and then I will absolutely work with you to advocate for that. It would be very, very helpful to have your board's support, so that there's we can show that the community would be involved. And I think it's an excellent idea. We've talked about this, but but there should be a proposal first.
Well, you know what? Too, it would be good too to have 2 dog parks. I mean, you can do the lower side and you can do the upper side. The more the better.
No, I'll add it to the list for the
It's
dog
a
park.
5-acre land. It's a 5-acre land. That's big.
Got it.
That's more than enough. You can have parking.
I'm not sure why it wasn't on the list, but I could. It's a done deal that I will add it to the
If we really
suggestion.
want a dog, unleashed dog location, I mean, 5 acre, that's a lot of land. We can do something with it. I mean, why not? If the community wants it, the taxpayer wants it, we can make it happen. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The original plan was connected through, but have Kalihi extend through to Numana, right? They were going to build a road between those two.
But I think at one point, at Samoan church that was up, further up, was maintaining some of that part. But I don't know what happened.
But it goes through a private driveway now, on the other side.
Right.
So.
Okay, let's move forward.
Okay, well, I guess
State elected officials, yeah.
we can go with, okay. Elected officials, okay. Well, are there any more questions from the community? Ms. Kumalai, okay, Ms. Kumalai had one.
Talking about dogs, yeah?
Yes.
Who's liable in the event that the dog bites another dog or mauls another dog? I guess I watch too much Judge Judy, but there's always pit bulls and little dogs, and some of the owner also gets affected. So my question or concern would just be, liability. Who will be liable in the event there is tragedy?
I think that's an excellent question. I don't have the answer right now, but the city does have a couple of fenced dog parks right now, and some parks that are allowed, off leash. Again, the initial question really wasn't about dog parks, where the little dogs go and the big dogs go and there's fences. It was about accessibility with dogs on leashes. We can address both, but it's about people being able to go exercise with their dogs on a leash. And the sign would no longer say no dogs allowed or no pets, like that.
Okay. Mr. Kumalai also had a...
Yeah, Lynn, so currently those parks that you've mentioned, what is the law for?
I don't know. I don't know offhand, but I can absolutely get back with you folks about what do you mean?
I kind of thought that, generally speaking, most public parks don't allow dogs, and if you have dogs, they gotta be on a leash. And I think most public parks don't allow dogs. Some beaches
So-
do.
I'm sorry if you guys didn't get to have a chance to look at the letter. It says in City Council District 6 or immediately adjacent thereto, there are several parks where dogs can be on a leash, specifically 11 Neighborhood Park, Ovai Olimo, Kalihi Vienna, Kamamalu, Mother Waldron, Napueo, Thomas Square. Those are all allowed. So it's a thing and it's a growing trend. So it's basically about the signage.
Yes. So some of those parks allow dogs on the leash, but there's a demand for parks to have unleashed areas.
Yes.
That's what we're working on. There's
So
a demand.
right now there are 2 off-leash dog parks in the district, Aala Park and Mother Waldron Park.
All right.
And there's others in the urban center, but that's just speaking to ours. So any feedback is great. I just wanted to let you know that, some of this is just as easy as a sign that is taken away, or verbiage that's removed from a sign that says no dogs, right? And then you can go out there with your dog and exercise and have them enjoy the park with you. Another issue that we would be happy to take feedback about is specifically about off leash. And this is where we're looking at, more infrastructure, right? Just fencing and whatnot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And if there are no more questions from the community for Tyler Dos Santos Tam's office, we can move on to the state elected officials. Governor Josh Green's representative, Deputy Director Kristen Sakamoto.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Kristen Sakamoto here on behalf of the Office of the Governor. I dropped a link to the governor's newsletter in the chat and just wanted to report a few highlights. So August 8th marked the 1-year anniversary of the Maui wildfires. Last month, the non-congregate sheltering program, which provided short-term housing assistance to over 3,000 households, was successfully concluded. And recently, the first residents were welcomed at the temporary housing project, La'iku, on Lahaina Luna Road. The newsletter highlights some additional stories, including information on a UH study on the environmental impacts of the Lahaina wildfire and the success of the Miley Amber Alert program. So we would encourage you to read those. And with that, I will take any questions or concerns you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Deputy Director Kristen Sakamoto from the board, online, in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Mr. Sung?
Hi, my name is James Sung. Mr. Green just passed a bill or signed a bill to law about lowering taxes. Where can we find it?
The bill about the income taxes, let me see. I believe we had published at the Department of Tax announcement on our website. I can look that up for you right now.
This is HB 2404. Is that what we're talking?
No idea.
So on the tax website, which is tax.hawaii.gov, you can go to announcements, and there is a tax amount announcement number 2024-03, and I will put a link to that in the chat, and that has information about the legislation that included the income tax changes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the community, online or in person? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Up next is Senator Donna Mercado Kim.
Aloha, everyone.
congratulations to our new board member and congratulations to Kaiko for his primary win. I did send our community report digitally to the chair and members of the neighborhood board. Hope that you all get it. And just a reminder that even though the legislative session is out, I work year round and our staff is in the office as well as myself. So if you do have any questions or concerns, you can always reach us by our phone. I would like to introduce at this time my committee clerk, Kathy Meey, who happens to be online. So she will be representing me at the neighborhood board when I cannot be here. So just wanted you folks to get to know her. Kathy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Senator.
Okay, so anyway, so this is Kathy.
Nice to meet everyone.
With that, let's see, there not a whole lot going on other than the election and that we're getting ready for next session. The community updates, the buses will be changing, and I'm surprised at Councilmember's office. They're so good at everything, and we enjoy working with them. Lynn, you always do a great job. But the bus route 7 Kalihi Valley has gone some changes. Route 7 Kalihi Valley is now Route 7 Kalihi Valley dash Kahala. So this route replaces the Route 9 Kaimuki Pearl Harbor. And I'm sure you can go onto the bus site and get more information, but these changes will occur on August 18th. So with that, if there are any questions from the board members, I'd be happy to.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the board? Mr. Franklin?
Senator Kim, ma'am, I'm just trying to clarify. Is Safe Route from School, you say, belong to the city or it belongs to the governor?
It's a project with DTS, with Department of Transportation Services, which is a city entity. So the state is DOT, Department of Transportation. The city is Department of Transportation Services. I know it's very confusing, but it is under them. If you go online, you can see that.
Yes, ma'am. My last thing is CAM 4. Is that for the rec center on CAM 4? Does that
Yes.
belong to the city or the state?
That is a state public housing. It is under the state. It is my understanding recently they were going to demolish the rec center and they are working with, I believe it's Adult Friends for Youth at putting together programming and a new rec center.
Yes, ma'am.
In the meantime, the Kalihi Valley Park service all of the neighborhoods around that area and certainly is open to all of the members, residents of Kalihi, Camforth Road housing.
So they're in the process of demolishing it because they've been waiting like 10 years for them to do something.
I know, they just got the funding, my understanding. We were invited over there to see what's going on, and that's what's happening. So I'm surprised that Ben haven't updated you folks on that.
No, ma'am, they have not.
Okay, I will follow up with them to make sure that they make a report.
Thank you.
What is the plan after it's demolished?
Oh, Mr. Gotti.
I'm sorry?
What is the plan after it's demolished?
They're working to come up with a plan for the needs of the residents. I'm not sure I'm privy to that at this moment. So I think it's in working stages.
Can I ask one more question?
Mr. Franklin has another
Yes,
question.
ma'am. We've been trying this board, been trying to get anyone in CAM 4 because apparently they have the needs of the residents. We're the board of the residents, and somehow we don't know any committee in there, who to talk to. Because every time I try to reach out to the Mr. Park or Ms. Wiggins who runs it, you get snubbed. And they won't respond to emails and they won't respond to calls. I mean, we asked for a committee and they said, we'll stick some on the board. I mean, CAM 4 is part of this board, and it seems like the hardest thing to do is get any representation from this board into the CAM 4. I can't figure out why that's the reason behind it. But anytime you talk to a government state official about CAM 4, it's like nobody wants you in CAM 4 to talk to anyone about anything. So I'm not sure if they're reaching out to the committee, finding out what they want, because if they do, They can let us know if there's any committee meetings that's going on in Cam 4, any organizations, anything they're having in the Cam 4. We would love to attend it, but so far it's zero. So, and I've reached out to the people in charge of Cam 4, and you get snubbed the whole time. So I don't know who they're reaching out or who they're talking to or who they're saying in the best interest of the community, because as far as I'm concerned, they're not even communicating with the community of Cam 4.
Well, I can't speak for public housing. They do manage the project. I'm aware of that. And it is up to the residents, and they do, I knew in the past they had a community association because they had activities there. I have not been invited to anything in the recent years. So like any community association or the residents get involved, they would be the ones to speak to. So I don't know if they have an organized group at this point in time. But the public housing just manages the units and the apartments and so forth.
Yes, ma'am, but there's everyone constituents in there, and I mean, there are people in there, everyone constituent, we just can't dump it on Cam 4, a management group, because apparently they're not working with the community and they're not working with anybody inside of there, because I spoke to them, even like I keep bringing her name is Wiggins, and for some reason, there is no way or no community that this board can talk to, so I don't know who they're working with. I mean, we just can't keep saying there's bad people in there, there's bad kids in there, they're committing crimes when no one is reaching out to these constituents to see what they need or if we can help them at all. But every time
I understand Adult Funds for Youth is part of this, part of the rec center plan and work with the kids in Kalihi Valley Housing.
Yes, ma'am, I would love to meet them or have them come to the board.
Well, they're a nonprofit group, so you would have to reach out to them. The government does not control them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Rojas has a question.
Yes, Senator, I just wanted to inject something in there. My injection to that is that we're just looking for support as far as on the state side, because it's a state, as you had said, it's a state public center for housing. So we're asking from the state to please give us support to communicate with the facilitator or the administrative who manage that whole area, is because in that area somehow we have security, and whoever is in charge of the security, because I'm the neighborhood security coordinator at this point, and I'm trying to get in touch with whoever is the state side who's in charge of that area to communicate with them so that we can work together, because what happened is that the people who lives there, they're the one who create this the violence, a lot of crime that has been done mostly on that area, and it's coming from in that area. And I have people who live there are scared when they come. They scared to come to our meeting, because we have to realize that the reason why they're scared is that when they report to whoever's in charge in that public housing, they don't do anything about it. So we need you guys' support, so that way we can bring them here, and like what Mr. Franklin said, that we can bring them here and we can all communicate and then fix our problem in Camp Fort Road, because there's a big problem.
Who here? I'm sorry, bring who here?
The administrators or the facilitator to this Camp Fort housing.
Well,
So that way
the
we can communicate.
director, Husan, is the director of the public housing, and Ben is the deputy, the assistant. So they are.
Okay, is there a way, because we're going through the chain of command at this point? I mean, from our chain of command to our neighborhood board, all we can ask is the state leaders to please step up and give us support so that we can all communicate in that lower level.
We can request for them to come before the neighborhood board. They have gone before other neighborhood boards that I've been at. So, yeah, I mean, so I will follow up. As I said earlier, I will follow up with Ben to see what they can do. But again, you know, they do have a private security company. I'm not sure what it is who exactly
yes.
you want to
Yes,
talk
they
to?
do have security there, but the problem is that I think to me, if there is violence, there is a lot of other actions that's not being apprehended. I think they're not doing their job. We need to talk to them. What's going on? Give us some report, because if the people are scared there's something wrong there.
Well,
But
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's the police that has to go in and
No,
enforce
if
any
the
of the laws.
security who's in the line of force has to report to the police first. But the affected people are the people who lives there. So when they report to the security, eventually, to me, the way I see it is that the security is not bringing it up to the law enforcement to support them. That's why it comes out of the community. It comes out of Camford Road. Camford Housing. It goes to the Camford Road, and then it goes towards Kalihi Valley, and it's just become a mess. And then it travels down to Kalihi, which is KPT. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's get to the source. Let's fix Camford Housing. And we need those administrators and felicitators and security guard enforcers to come to this meeting. We want to know what's going on with that community. Thank you.
So
Okay. I suggest
Okay.
that the board put in a request, the chair of the board put in a request to public housing to have someone there. I know the governor's office was just there for a report. They fall under the governor. They're part of the governor's cabinet. So I'm not sure if Kristen is still there.
Well, you know what? We were just trying to.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we didn't want to go straight to the governor because we're trying to do our diligent chain of command. I did reach out to Mamie Zuno, she's the one who kind of inspired me to be a neighborhood security coordinator. So I'm trying to go as far as I can because somehow, it's chain of command. We have to be involved all the way up to the top. But I didn't reach out all the way up to the governor just because I didn't reach out to you yet, ma'am. So I'm reaching out to you. And then now that you recommended for the governor to be involved, which is the deputy director, thank you so much. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, because if you want the director to come to your board meeting, and if you're calling them directly and they're not responding, then you have to go to the governor's office because they fall under the governor. They don't report to the legislature. They don't
So that
report,
means
we don't have any authority to direct them or demand that they come to your meeting.
Okay, so in due respect, do you want me to bypass you? That's what I'm just trying to say. I'm going to the chain of command. Yeah. What is it? We're good? No, I just say I didn't want to disrespect the senator.
No, I just want to meet with the community. That's all I want to do. Security is a whole different, law enforcement is a whole different section. Then I just want to meet with the community. So, because if what he's saying, that you got the police and security that's going to handle their issue as far as crime is concerned. I just want to reach out to the residents to let the residents know that there is a board who can answer some of their questions if they have any. That's my point. But there's another point I guess he's making for as safety and security, which requires security guards, law enforcement. I'm not getting into that. I'm just getting in, can we meet with the community? That's what I want to do.
Yes, there are a lot of issues, but just know that there is no chain of command, okay? You're not going to hurt my feelings if you go try to talk to the governor's office. We want to get the job done. So, there's no chain of command.
Senator, I'm just saying that there's a representative, I already reached out to her, and there's a senator, and then there's the government side, which is the governors. I'm just trying to follow the sequence here, so that way everybody can be in part of this situation. Because the biggest part is that people are scared to live there, but they're forced to live there because that's a low-income place where they can afford. But if we have a problem in living comfortably there because of the crime and because of what's going on, we got to be together. We got to do our part, and I'm doing my part as the lowest total pole in the chain of command. So all I'm asking is let's get the leaders there and and do your part. I cannot just go over there and say, because at one point I did go over there and say, who's the leader here? And they said, who you? I said that, but now I'm reaching out to the chain of command to please bring the leaders or facilitators to our board meeting so we can talk about crime there. Because it's traveling off to the community, not just Camford housing, you know.
Yes.
It's coming
And
out.
you folks are the neighborhood board, and so you can request any entity to come before your board. So that's that you're elected just like I am.
No, we're learning. You've been here for many years. I only been here
Yes,
for
that's
2
what I'm
years.
telling
So
you.
I'm asking.
The police come to you guys, the fire comes to you, the governor's office come to you, and this is the forum that you're sitting on to request people like the governor's office that come before you for this information. So
No,
we're all
in
here.
respect to your position now.
Okay.
Respect to your position. I'm not trying to
We understand.
bound you down.
Are
I'm
there
just
any
trying
more
to
questions for
respect
Donna
your
Mercado,
position.
Kim? We need to move on now.
Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Tan, did you have a question?
No, I mean,
Okay.
it's already been suggested the board gotta invite those guys down here.
Yeah.
And done, right?
Yeah. So we can invite them.
To who though? That's my point. That's the problem. We've been.
Yeah, so I can communicate with, I'll communicate with them. She mentioned the names, Director Hussan, Ben, who's the deputy.
It's Hakeem.
Hakeem Hussan. Sorry, Hakeem.
We can work together for that request.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from the board or the community online or in person? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then up next is Representative May Mizuno. I'm not seeing May Mizuno online, but she did send her newsletter. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to email them to me and I can forward it to her as well, to her office.
I wanted to mention real quick that there is an administrator who runs Kalihi Valley Homes. Her name, I think, is Randy. You talked to her, yeah? Wiggins? Is that her name?
Yeah, I talked to Wiggins.
Yeah, I think it's Julie. I want to say
Julie Wiggins.
Julie. Yeah. So she's like the top of the administration at this location. There is also a volunteer board. They organize events, and then there's also a lot of really awesome community leaders who are trying to do good things with the youth, and they're trying to advocate for the needs of their families. And those might be some of the people that we should come and recruit them to join the board formally.
Yeah, they should be part of this because it's affecting the Kalihi community, Kalihi Valley community.
Yeah, I can't figure out why one of them not on the board.
Yeah, so
there's tons of them. They can vote themselves right on in.
I'll invite some of them to attend.
We will request for all of them to come out here because that's the main target for us.
So there's like the official government people and also the community people. I think we should, as a board, invite the government people, but I think informally invite the community people to come and be part of our conversation.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion.
Oh, Mr. Kumalai?
You should invite the Wiggins lady. She actually administers the operation right at the housing, which we have concerns about.
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke to her twice, he blew me off.
There you go.
No, but
That's disrespectful.
Mr. Franklin, when you have an official invitation.
Yes, official invite.
You're right there.
And then who's going to execute that? I mean,
I can-
where?
I
Okay,
can-
you execute
Yeah, no, they going write the letter to invite Wiggins.
Yeah.
We don't like the guys way at the top.
No,
They
no.
would just give us philosophy stuff. We like the guys that actually out there
On the
meet
day-to-day.
the residents.
Yeah.
So invite Wiggins. Don't even invite Hussein.
Okay.
But that is the
Okay,
Right?
awesome.
He's too far away from the situation.
Okay.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is our biggest problem is because when we go to the leaders, we ask for help, they don't do anything. So my question is, who's the next chain of command for us to go to bring this lady and to justify that she is doing?
Yeah, so I can.
Ask her to come to the next meeting.
Ask her to come, yes. Yeah, make her come.
I'll be the one to ask.
So you know what to ask for her then?
Yeah, I'll follow up and
And
be
if
sure
she
to
don't,
have
and
it.
if she shuts you down, just like what he did to our board member, which is disrespectful to us.
I
Or
understand.
to our
No, but we go in there as a private citizen.
I'll email first. If I have to go in person, I'll go in person. Does that help?
Inside the camp property at least once a year, but that's another matter. First, you gotta get in.
Okay, so Mr. Sung, you had something?
It sounds like it would be an excellent conversation in a committee setting instead of the actual board meeting,
Right.
neighborhood board meeting. So it should be in a committee meeting so you guys could have an open forum
Yes.
instead of a neighborhood board. That's,
I kind of like your point too, but my point is that at the neighborhood board meeting, we're trying to bring in the people in the community
So-
so they know our concern. And
No,
then
but-
maybe they can come on
Mr.
and say it, but they're scared to bring it
Mr.
up.
Rojas,
Yeah.
committees, we can do more in committees because we can go
I
more in
understand
depth.
what he's talking about, but
Yes.
we wanted to just bring it out to the community.
Yes.
That those people who scared. Now
Yes.
guess what? We're gonna put them in one committee, and then they can come in, so we can harness them, and we can get all together as one unity. That's what I'm trying to say. But the problem is chain of command. The chain of command that he goes to, they are the facilitator of that whole area. They should be concerned. If there's something wrong, they are responsible for what's not happening. That's what
Yes.
I'm looking at. And then that's why I'm asking you if they fail you, which chain of command you're gonna go to next? Are you gonna go to the? I mean,
So-
we already reached out to our representative.
We can always circle back with them to
Yeah.
let them know.
That's what I
I'll
wanted
go
to say.
first. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I was trying to express.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and then up next, so actually we're on committee reports assignments. I still have your communications committee chair nominations. This does sound like it could be communications, right? With
I nominate Chris.
oh,
Nominate Chris,
we
okay?
have a nomination for Crystal Limaga.
Please.
Do you accept the nomination?
Sure.
No,
Do you
okay.
accept it? Or is that yeah? Okay. So we'll have Crystal Limaga. Are there any more nominations for someone to be chair for the communications committee?
Do we have to vote today though?
Yeah, we can vote
Do we
to.
have to?
You're the chair for the communication.
Well,
And I'll be on it with you.
usually I would assign. I would like someone to be the committee chair.
Is that fast? I mean, do we have to do it now or?
Yes, I mean I could have done it the day of, like by just nominating, like I assigned someone.
okay.
But I just wanted you guys to be able to choose who is, because this is an important
The
committee.
committee, the committee chair could change too if Chris doesn't want to be or somebody wants, you can co-chair too.
Co-chair,
We're
okay.
pretty
No,
casual,
I
yeah.
just wanted to consider that, could we ask someone out in the community, like for example,
To be
it
chair
doesn't have
or-
to be in the board.
Yes,
Would
so
that be
committee.
possible? So maybe, we could find someone, maybe Kaka would find someone, or
So
anybody in the board could find someone.
going to join the committee, like
Yeah,
to be on the, yes. So everyone, people in the community can join committees as members, but the chair has to be a board member.
But it doesn't have to be a board member, right? To run the committee.
The chair runs it, yes.
The chair has to.
Committee chair, yeah.
Yeah, the chair has to be the one to submit the agenda, so that way it's out there for at least a week, so that the community knows and they attend. Yeah.
I just wanted to maybe like slow it down and maybe we can bring it out to the community for them to.
Well, if we have a chair, then the chair can immediately submit at meetings, so we can in a
So
week
that
from
means
now we
it's
can
like
have a meeting.
that means that we're only limited to gotta be we can
No,
in the board then.
No, anybody can.
Because it's like let's do it now, and I'm
Be the
suggesting
chair.
that maybe you should hold up on it for a while.
But we need a chairman.
We gotta get a chair.
We need a chair.
Anybody-
So this is nomination for the chair who's going to
Get
submit.
members join the committee after.
I nominate Chris.
So are we going to vote?
Yeah, so if there's no other nominations, then it would be unanimous consent. Are there any objections to
No objection.
to Chris?
Online
Okay.
in person?
Seeing none, then congratulations, Chris. Welcome.
Now I would like to be on the board with him, but I don't wanna run it.
Oh, you could be a member. Yeah, just go join the meeting.
You know what? We all support you as a member. Okay? That's how it should be.
I'll help you with the agenda as well to submit.
Yeah, so she should be on
We'll
the board.
make it maybe in a week, so we'll just be very proactive.
Yes.
Ideally, I kind of want to have a committee meeting either every week or like all in one day. That's how Kailua Neighborhood Board has their committees all in one day, same location. So that way everyone's there. We can all do all the committees that day, if you guys want to do that. or we could spread it out each week. So that way we're always proactive on different topics every week. Oh, sorry, Mr. Gotti, was that?
This space or the...
Could we have it at the space?
You might be able, I could check. Yeah, we'll see. We could probably help you guys out.
Spencer, it was kind of hot today.
I know, hey, we should go 277. You guys know that big room upstairs? It's kind of down a long hallway, but it is hot. Yeah. They might have AC up there. They should. So, yeah, we'll check it out.
We'll allocate money from our budget to fix the AC.
Yes.
Mine.
Our office gets hot too. So.
Mr. Hussey, do you have anything for the Transportation Committee by any chance? No? Okay. No problem. Then we can move on to the approval of regular meeting minutes, Wednesday, July 10, 2024. Can I get a motion?
I motion that the minutes be approved.
Mr. Franklin, motion. Any second?
Second.
Ikaika Hussey seconds. Any discussions? Oh, if there are no discussion.
I'm not on the board, but there is a correction. Shirley was at the meeting. Her name is not on.
Okay. We need to have Shirley, yes.
Yeah, I was part of the.
Yeah,
Did you sign in?
Did you sign in?
Oh.
I signed in. Also, governor.
Gotta add Shirley.
Okay, we got you, Shirley. We'll add you to that. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, and then that would be an amendment, right? It's an amendment, okay. Okay, and if there are no more discussions or amendments, we can vote on the minutes to have that amendment to have Shirley on the attendance. Do we do all?
Any objections?
No.
Abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, Hernando abstains. Thank you, and the minutes are approved.
Thank you. And for chair's report, I'll just want to state that I'm glad. I love the turnout that we have today, but I just also want to express gratitude, really just gratitude, as well as would love to see you guys out more and joining our committees. I plan to work with the committee chairs so that we can each have maybe like an agenda each, so that we can have something to report back, and we can also do more proactive stuff during the committee meetings. This is an extension. Committee meetings are an extension of this meeting, which are just usually updates from our, but we can go more into depth in the committees. But that's my report. But are there any more announcements from the board or community? Anyone?
Michael,
Yes.
I could say.
Well, Mr. Rojas,
Yeah,
yes.
for the sustainability side, I would like to ask the board to help me create this proposal for community garden at Kalihi area, and whatever suggestion that you guys could incorporate into that proposal, let's do it. Let's put in inputs there. It's not being used, like they said, it's not being used correctly, and also it's being abandoned. And there's so much trash and heavy bulk stuff on the river. So I think we need to either adapt it or we could create something in that community park.
Okay.
That's for the sustainability. And as far as one more thing, Kilohana and Kalihi Street, we did one cleanup, and it was pretty successful. We did it, but again, it's happening again and again. So that's why it was very important to have that no trespassing, so that when the people who live in that area can call the police, so they can get those guys out of there. They don't need to be there. They need a home, a safer place to be, so that way the neighborhood can be more safer as it was. So we will be asking again for the neighborhood board members. If you guys have friends in our community, please invite them, that we can get together cleanup until we get the green light. They said no engagement yet until they clear out that area, and then we can go and clean up with them. That's all for my.
But you don't have a date yet for that.
We don't have a date yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
But I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Good luck to your. Oh, congratulations, by the way.
Not yet.
I mean, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations on the primary.
I have a couple of announcements.
Okay.
So some community folks asked me to announce these two events. One is on Friday from 9 to 1 p.m. There's a family fitness fair. It's being organized by a couple of Kalihi Valley residents. It's not in Kalihi though. It is at the Central Seventh-day Adventist Church on Nuuanu Avenue. And that's from 9 to 1 on Friday. It's called the Family Fitness Fair. It's hosted by Live Hawaii. And there's an event at, I think on Saturday, that KKB is doing. You guys know about this? We Are Kalihi. I'm trying to find it.
It was on the news.
It's on the news? Yeah. Anyways, I'll email you that.
Saturday, KKV.
Yeah.
This Saturday, right?
I think it's this Saturday.
I see. And then I think Dana Yap, you had one more announcement?
Is it the one I sent you, Kaika, is the one at KPT. It's the one, the noise in the tower, KPT 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, there's also that one. Thank you.
And then just give you a heads up, we had one of our first meetings for the parade, so we are on schedule for the parade. That you guys were involved with. So that's Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday. Okay. Trying to remember, yeah, because I think it was. Okay. Thank you so much. And I did want also, let's see. Okay, here we go. So the next meeting, will be Wednesday, September 11, 2024 at 7 p.m. at Kapala Mahale. Will it be room 153 or could we move to the bigger room?
277.
277.
If this room doesn't have AC, and with this big crowd, we'll be much more comfortable up 277.
Okay, we'll upgrade to 277 if we get a bigger crowd.
Is that the one?
It's the far one.
And then you walk all the way to the other end of the.
Yep, through the double doors all the way down. Follow signs. There's signs that say 277.
Yeah. You guys have meetings there.
And then broadcast meetings, neighborhood board meeting aired on Olelo channel 49 on the 4th Saturday of the month at 6 p.m. and the 1st and 3rd Sunday of the month at 9 a.m. If there is no additional announcements, then the meeting is now adjourned.